You are listening to Beyond the Verse, a StarCitizen podcast. A show dedicated to Cloud Imperium Games, StarCitizen, and Squadron 42. Whether you fight, explore, unite, and/or trade, we bring you news, updates, interviews, reviews, and analysis. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a pour of Radagast, and join us as we go Beyond the Verse.
Launch sequence activated.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Beyond the Verse, StarCitizen podcast. I'm your host, Sulyce, and this is episode 111. We celebrate the kickoff of the Foundation Festival 2955, showcasing the community-driven spirit of StarCitizen. We reveal our Crusader Intrepid giveaway. Yeah, we're back at that again. We break down the inventory overhaul discussed on the StarCitizen Live and analyze the newly updated referral program. Plus, we dive into the July subscriber promotions, the roadmap roundup, and the June monthly report for all the latest developments from the verse. So we have a jam-packed episode for this week. And happy July 4th. Happy Independence Day for those in the United States of America who are celebrating their 250th birthday. Kind of a big deal. So we're going to move through this pretty quickly. And then I need to pack because my family is going on yet another vacation. So just quickly, from like a personal standpoint, this last weekend, we did an impromptu vacation. Like out of nowhere, we decided, hey, let's go to Moody Gardens in Galveston, Texas, which is pretty fun for kids. It's like a museum, an aquarium, like an indoor rainforest. So pretty eventful, out on the water or close to the water. So we also had some beach time as well. So I did that all the way up until Tuesday. I worked Wednesday, Thursday, and then now I'm back on vacation again. So it's been a fun week. And if you're a parent with kids, you know where my smile is coming from. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Again, I hope this finds everybody well. I hope you and yours are getting out and enjoying the weekend. I hope this podcast brings entertainment and information much needed during a very, very information heavy or content heavy week at StarCitizen. But before we get into any of that, we have a giveaway, and I love going into this because, again, I love giving back to the community. Like, again, I don't see the new ships. I mean, theoretically, they're in my hangar first, but it's for you. I don't keep anything. It comes from CIG, so this is their sponsored giveaway. It's the Crusader Intrepid, but let's walk through how to get to it first, how you can enter, how you can get this lifetime insured Crusader Intrepid. So here we go. Sharing my screen for those of you on video. Otherwise, beyondtheversehq.com, again, where you can find anything and everything you want to about this podcast, about our Soul Provision organization. But this website should look pretty familiar with you. If this is your first time on the podcast or you're interested in StarCitizen, this first link right here, this Play StarCitizen Now, yes, it uses my referral code, but we both benefit from that. So you'll get additional items and money if you use the referral code. And of course, I get credit. So if you want to support in that sense, but this button right here will take you to the StarCitizen page so you can fill out your citizenship. I think is what they kind of role play lore call it. So you're going to click here. You can also subscribe to our email address. Again, it's been 6 months and I don't know. I haven't sent out a single email yet. I'm again, PTSD. I do not want to bombard you with pointless emails. So I'm still trying to get the value proposition for that email. Monthly show review, recent productions, but you're here for the giveaway. Easy. So at the very top of this announcements bar, here's your giveaway, Foundation Festival 2955. You can click here. That's number one. Or you can come to the podcast hyperlink up here at the top and click on giveaway. So let's just do what most people are going to do and click on the announcement bar. It'll take you to this page. We call this the supply crate, kind of cheeky in that way. But yeah, it's the Crusader Intrepid with lifetime insurance and the Foundation Festival paint along with it. You have until Thursday, July 10th. So that's next Thursday And of course, we always ask engagement questions. And this engagement question is, what is your favorite game loop in Star Citizen and why? One of the things about Foundation Festival is it's for new people. It's for the guide system. So there's a lot of focus on teaching others or sharing best practices with all the game loops, whether it's mining, salvaging, mercenary, bounty hunting, etc. So you're just going to fill out your username, your email. This is very important. Make sure you get that accurate because that's where the giveaway is going. If you want to get a shout out, throw your X social media handle right here. How did you hear about us? That's good information for me to know on where the majority of people are hearing about this. And then the engagement question, just very quickly. You don't have to go crazy with it. Just what's your favorite game loop and why? And there you go. So enter in. Good luck to you. Groza, you're more than likely going to win because you're ridiculous when it comes to winning giveaways. I'm watching you. Somehow you're cheating. I know you are. Somehow you're cheating. It is the first podcast of the month. We are in July, which means a June monthly show review. So going back to sharing my screen, I do this every month, but I want to celebrate you, our community, whether you're the Beyond the Verse podcast community or the Soul Provision community. We have hit 129 episodes of the Beyond the Verse podcast. We have reached over 83 countries. We have 68.1 thousand plays for podcast or listens and 60.5K views, and that's over on YouTube. Our in-game organization, Soul Provision, grew to 332 Discord members and 204 Spectrum members. So thank you to everybody. I love this infographic. It just kind of shares our entire journey up to this point. All the special guests that have been here for, this whole journey. So I want to thank every single one of them. And again, I want to highlight Extra Life for $1.3 thousand raised year to date. That's 26% to our goal. We're halfway through the year, so that's a little scary, right? To be halfway through the year and only a quarter through, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Even if we ended now, 1.3K raised for children's hospitals is phenomenal. And if you're interested in how to give, again, beyondtheversehq.com. In those hyperlinks on the far right, you're going to see the link give, and that is a direct pass through to Extra Life, and you're going to give that way. Again, it doesn't come through me. I don't get to sort the money and see where things are going. You give directly to Extra Life, and they give 100% pass through to children's hospitals. So shout out there. All right, let's keep moving. I'm going to rearrange some things real quick because I also asked a poll on Twitter, but we'll get to polls after from the community.
Incoming message.
All right. Again, if this is your first time listening to the podcast on Spotify, that's our main platform, our main hub for podcasts. Of course, it gets distributed across more platforms, but Spotify is where we ask a poll, like an engagement poll, and then we open up the comments. So if you respond to a comment or you mention something in the comments, we're going to read through. And it's, again, to highlight the community, and I will always have this at the top of the podcast because if all else fails, we're here for each other in more ways than one. So let me share my screen. The question we asked last week is if you had to pick one focus for your org this Foundation Festival, what would it be? 57.1% say role play events, 42.9% say training nights, and then nobody wanted to focus on lore and history, and no one wanted to focus on recruitment. So perfectly fine. That's fine. The role play events is absolutely, I love that. So last year we did a few of those. What comes to mind, at least for Soul Provision, what comes to mind is the murder mystery that we had on like the 890 jump, the Elegance of the Void. That was a whole lot of fun. And a shout out to my board of directors that made it happen. But that was an incredible night. I think things like that, the bar crawls that we have planned to do but have never done because every time we try, like some new content comes out, we want to get it in. So we'll eventually hit that. I have it all planned out. It's like you go to a system, you go to planet side bars, and then you go to the orbital site bars, Grim Hacks. You go all of these awesome locations around the verse. And it's just a time for us to be social, as opposed to trying to push content. So that's a lot of fun. Training nights, it's very interesting that's number 2, with the game slowly maturing, slowly starting to get some game loops and raid content and whatnot. I can see training nights becoming more of a thing, especially going into the Foundation Festival. Like, training nights is very appropriate. Let's go to the comment section. We're going to go here, going to open up comments. All right, we have 11 to get through. Going to read this somewhat quick, but Bravo 1, we'll go to you first. Going to go ahead and quickly leave this comment before people get all upset from Sulyce saying I'm an asshole. He was joking. It was all a joke. P.S. At least I'm a kind asshole. Yeah, he was making fun of me because one of the org nights, I thought the key card needed to access one of the doors in Stormbreaker. I thought it was that, but I was actually holding a magazine, and he just rubbed that in. I'm pretty sure I heard it last night during that org night as well. Soundwave Ghosts, right? Soundwave's Ghost writes, I'm indeed excited for the hauling stuff. Sad it will be another set of short-term stuff, but I'm sure we'll see the whiners complain it's not interesting enough, or just grouch about the ground elevators being broken, which sadly they commonly are. Also, the Wicklow thing is great. I want an LKTI very bad, but I'm the don't let my needs bother you personality. So a lot of the bigger things are out of my reach. Love seeing non-dollar value items that I'd rather this one item be in my hangar for cash. Okay. Yeah, so I think the majority of people are going to like 4.2.1 or 4.2.1. It is a resource gathering, kind of that sort of game loop. I feel like the patches are alternating. I feel like it's going from like FPS heavy, combat heavy for one patch, and then the next patch is like, okay, well, here's some cargo things to do. It's a very dynamic shift, like every other patch. And so this next patch is very much that. It's mining, it's gathering, it's salvaging, it's getting all these resources together. And I'm sure cargo is going to be a big part of it as well. So yes, it's going to be fun. Very much up Soul Provision's alley. But it always brings on this, like, I don't know. You've got the community is always split. It's like the FPS sweaties that really want to push like Grand Theft Auto, and they really want to push like Call of Duty in this game. So you have that like camp, and then you got this other camp that just kind of wants to coast and like live life up in space. Very big dynamic between the two. Not a lot of in between. I think all of us would identify as like in between, but the majority of the loudness we hear in content creation or on social media is the polarization. So I hope that's not the case. But I will say, guys, like it's always the less, like the lower velocity events that are bugged, like incredibly bugged. It's always the freight elevators. It's always, turning things in and not getting credit for it, which I'm not going to get into that story if you're listening and you know kind of where my head's at for that. So like it's kind of unfortunate in that sense. So we'll hopefully get through 4.2.1. We'll hopefully get through without a hitch, without any issues, but we'll see. Moving on to Blake, hey, Ignis Flux here. I haven't been participating in Wicklow because of all the hassle, but I will now be considering it with all those updates. Sounds like they're making it a lot better. Wicklow needs a lot of work. I'll leave that there. Tinker Geeps, how dare you talk bad about the Raptor? We will have plenty at the org base when we are able to do base building. I'm not talking bad about the Raptor. I can't imagine spending real life money on a Zamboni. All right. Shadow Ranger 4965 writes, one thing that is definitely worth mentioning is that they shadow dropped a salvage buff this patch. The radius is at least 2 times bigger, and you scrape like 5 times more material. Before it was a lot to be scraping more than 4 or 5 micro SCU per second. Now I'm seeing over 20 micro SCU per second. This buff is wild. A whole C was giving me about 230 SCU. Now I'm getting over double that. I had to clear my hoppers on the Reclaimer just to get 1 whole C salvaged. Love that. I haven't been salvaging in a while, to be very fair. been trying to get ready for Stormbreaker and doing a lot of like bounty hunting and mercenary missions around the verse lately. So I cannot say that I have validated or experienced this, but I absolutely trust what Shadow Ranger is saying. And then if this is true, which again, I trust it, that's an amazing upgrade. That's an amazing upgrade. Husky writes, love that they are improving Wicklow. Love the podcast. It's my go-to podcast every Wednesday morning while driving for work. Hey, I appreciate that. It's funny that it's like Wednesday though. Like so many days have passed. I record on a Friday morning, and if you don't listen to it until Wednesday, it's like that's old news. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate you. You saying that and sticking with us. It means a lot to me. Zach writes, thanks for welcoming me into the org. Org nights are a no-go for me because of time zones, but I had fun going for key cards for the boys with Blast, Bravo, and Becker last week. Groza and Saxus took the time to show me what PAFs are. Orging up is definitely a game changer. I appreciate all of you, appreciate the org, and appreciate this podcast accompanying my work days. Take care and happy Friday. Back at you. Glad to have you into the org. We will eventually get into global ops. Time zones won't matter eventually. I think we talked about this a few times now. Just more to come. More to come. Uncasual Gamer writes, Soul Provision's second attempt at Stormbreaker was chaotic, but I still had a lot of fun trying to lock down the med beds with the ground team, hundreds of rounds expending while listening to IKTIs stomp around outside. I don't know how many revives I needed, but I appreciate the citizens who picked me up. It's a damn shame that the big bad didn't show up, but perhaps the real Apex Valakar is the friends we made along the way. Man, that's something I would say. That's something I would say. But yeah, it's about the experience, right? And I'm actually going to get into something in here in a couple seconds. So stand by on that. And then Groza. This is kind of funny. So Groza and I, we were talking the other day, kind of in between org nights and in between our board of directors syncs and whatnot. You've seen and heard from Groza on some of these episodes. And he made the realization that I've never talked to you about my dog. So he literally writes, "What up? Tell us about your dog." Well, I said I would read every comment, and now I'm kind of forced to to talk to you about my dog. And it's not forced. I love my little floof. All right, so I have a dog. His name's Teddy. My kids would call him Sir Tedward. But Teddy is a Bernedoodle. It's a freaking massive, like 80-pound dog, and he literally is a big ball of floof. So let me kind of getting creative here. I'm trying to show pictures. And it's funny, I think because I am streaming, Amazon Photos is blocking my slideshow. That's annoying. All right, well, I'm going to share my screen for those of you on YouTube and video. But this is my dog, Bernedoodle, Teddy, right? Copper-toned, big ball of floof, right? So there's look at this guy. He's such a cuddle. I guess cuddle bug. Cutest thing in the world. Dude likes playing like peekaboo. So he's like laying on the couch and he'll stick his head over and just kind of stare at you all day as you walk by, during work and whatnot. So this is my dog. Love him to death. He's 3 years old. Man, is he already? The dude might already be 3 years old. Going on 3. But yeah, let me actually find y'all. Let me find y'all a photo of him as like a puppy. This dude, man. Hold on. It's cute. It's worth it. It's worth it. Stand by. Okay, first off, this is before he got a haircut. And I know this is not a podcast about dogs, but look how big this thing is. This is me trying to hold him in front of our TV. Way too big. Way too big. All right, I want to show you a picture of as a puppy. Oh. I'm scrolling through these and finding all the puppy pictures. All right, hold on. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's so cute. All right. You guys are hearing a different side of me right now. Where is I am holding my dog and I don't see the photo. That's so sad. Boo. Okay, well, I can't find the most adorable photo where I'm holding him as a puppy. We actually haven't brought him home yet, But this is basically the photo that I'm talking about. He's so cute. So tiny. All right, I'm done. Thanks, Groza. He just made me like out myself as a total softie for dogs. All right, moving on. Let's keep going. Before we get into like Org Night and Soul Provision stuff, I do want to give a quick poll or a quick call out to the poll that I asked earlier in the week. Have y'all ever been in a dogfight, and like a PvP dogfight, and maybe, hopefully, unlike me, you lose every single one of them. Like, or like me, you lose every single one of them. And there's like, in general chat, you get flooded with GF, right? Golf Foxtrot GF. And it's always like, for me anyways, it's always this like emotionally unstable, and I'm pretty sure they're saying get, right? F-U-C-K. I don't know. So, but then someone's like, hey, no, it's actually good fight. And I was like, well, that's a little nicer. But if you look at the words around it, I doubt it's good fight. And so I saw a couple of screenshots earlier in the week that mentioned like GF and like, oh, the community is so toxic or whatever. And I'm like, hold on, let's actually just ask the poll. Let's ask it on Twitter. Like, what is GF to you? So after being in an engagement and general chat gets flooded with GF, how do you interpret its meaning? And I just, as a reminder, said just have fun with this post. I don't want people taking it too serious. Out of 1,306 views, 183 votes, 67.2% of you say good fight. So maybe it is just me. Maybe I just bring out the bad in everybody, because I'm pretty sure the context clues are more the first option, right? Get effed. That was 25.1%. Then we had 4.4% say gaslight fantasy. And then 3.3% say glorious failure. I had to come up with, two more options than the obvious, the obvious two. Before we get into the news, I just quickly want to go through Soul Provision updates. Again, even if you're not part of Soul Provision, I think this is fun information. But last week I told y'all we were going after the Polaris. We got all the materials needed and we submitted it through Wicklow. So congratulations to Soul Provision. It took us 10 days, only 10 days, to get everything needed in order to get the Polaris. I'm going to leave that there for now. The materials have been turned in. So success to Soul Provision. All right, moving on. Last night's Org Night. Again, I know it sounds like an inside story. I will get to it at a later episode for obvious reasons, but we are successful. Congratulations on getting our Polaris. All right, last night's Org Night. We did our third attempt at the worm. And we were successful. So another congratulations to Soul Provision. We finally took down the Apex Valacar in Stormbreaker. So we did things a little differently. So like 2 weeks ago, we had a very well thought out, methodical, strategic approach. And last night we just blitzkrieged it, right? We were like, look, violence of action. There's 26 of us. Let's just overtake the objective with overwhelming, force and tenacity and violence. And then we did. It was great. We actually made it to 2 different sites. We made it to the first site we tried had like a 57-minute timer still on the tower. So we were like, no, we're not going to sit around for an hour. So we moved off to another site and got all the way through, completed it. It's fine. StarCitizen though, man. It's still frustrating. No matter how successful you are, it's still frustrating that like half our team experienced StarCitizen-y things, right? Like falling through the planet. Even though, some of our members made Obituary their residence or their respawn point, they were still getting sent back to Orison. So that's obviously frustrating when you're trying to, keep things moving quickly. We did have the worm, spawn. It was great, but there was something I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was me. So like we were having to get into the specimen area where you extract the egg. And so you had to have you don't use a scientist to get into this door, but you use the radiation suit in order to bypass the door security. So you have to be in the suit, right? So either you You knock an enemy player out, you grav gun them over, and then you wake them up. And as they wake up, you scan the door, and that's good. But what we did last night is we just took a dead body that had the gear on, and I threw it on my persons. So I was like, I'll do it. I don't care. So I threw it on, which got rid of all my stuff, my gear, my weapons, which was expected. But once we got into the room, I could not get that shit off me. I could not undress. It was stuck on me for the rest of the night. And so it's a hard window to see out of. Like you can't see the ground in front of you, right? It's just like some other heavy armor, where you can't see down past your chin. So that was super frustrating. I couldn't pick up items. And then when I got out to the Valakar, I didn't have a lot of space to hold things. Like I didn't have my weapon system. I didn't have all my grenades. And so I ended up just taking screenshots for the most part. I had my Coda pistol on me. So I got 6 rounds off on a huge ass worm. So that was worthless. But that's, just stuff like that. It's like, I couldn't really contribute. Right. Oh, that's another thing. Like I also had, like my grav gun. I guess grav gun. I had, good Lord, tractor beam. I had my tractor beam on me to help extract teeth and all of that. And just, I could not equip it. I was kind of screwed. I was worthless when we got out to the worm. So I think it's that kind of stuff that just continues to frustrate me, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I am not the first person. I'm definitely not the last that's going to experience some of that stuff. So again, just one more congratulations to the 20, I think we had like 28 or 29 from last night. Congratulations to us knocking out the worm and of course getting our Polars through Wicklow. Moving on. Here we go. This week in StarCitizen. All right, hello everyone. Last week we unveiled the all-new StarCitizen referral program, which officially goes live this Wednesday, July 2nd. The new program will introduce a refreshed rewards ladder, a revamped interactive interface, improved tracking tools, and a whole lot more. Alpha 4.2.1 is now available to all waves, and we want to thank everyone who's taken time to share feedback so far. Your input has already helped shape this update in a meaningful way, with many improvements and fixes implemented directly thanks to your reports and suggestions. In the meantime, feel free to check out the release view on the public roadmap for a glimpse of what's coming, dive into the latest patch notes for full details, or try it out on the PTU yourself. Also, a heartfelt thank you to everyone who joined us at StarCitizen Copenhagen. We had an incredible time connecting with the Nordic community, and it was truly a pleasure to meet so many of you in person. Your passion, energy, and stories made the event unforgettable. So Manjtak, I'm probably insulting people, for being part of it. So thank you for being part of it. All right, this was a very content-heavy week. All right, so to the bullet points, we had the July subscriber promotions and newsletter. So we'll get through that here in a couple of seconds. On Tuesday and then Wednesday, we had the Foundation Festival launch, which had a slew of things. So new referral program, roadmap update, the monthly reports. There's kind of the guide system. We'll get through the guide system and what that looks like for new players as well. And then Thursday, we have the StarCitizen Live Earning in the Verse on Twitch. We're not going to watch that hour video, but it did get into inventory updates, which will absolutely show kind of the last couple of minutes where they start showing and talking about the inventory. So a lot to get through for the rest of this podcast, which we've already been at it for about 20 minutes. So let's move. Let's get moving. Foundation Festival. We're doing things a little backwards today because there's so much that comes from the Foundation Festival. We're actually going to lead with it. Usually we save like the main topic for last, but we're going to lead with the Foundation Festival, what to expect this year. How's it different? How's it the same? Let's get going. So again, if you want to join StarCitizen, you can go to that webpage that I told you, beyondtheversehq.com, and click on that, play StarCitizen now. You'll get into the Foundation Festival. That's one way to do it. Or you can come to robertspaceindustries.com and then click on this fly for free. Right, try StarCitizen for free. So between July 2nd to July 14th, which is in 10 days, you can fly 8 ships. Right, there's 8 ships that you can fly for free. So you're going to click this button. When I click it, it's just going to say, oh, hey, you've already been used. So here's promotion code found Fest 2955 was already used. So obviously that makes sense. But if you're new to the verse, that's going to give you the dossier that you sign out or that you fill out, which creates your account. And then when you start playing again, you're going to have access to 8 ships. All right, what are those 8 ships, Sulyce? Well, I'll get to it. Thanks for asking. All right, let's just get to the article. The Foundation Festival has arrived, and it's all about you, our players, your yearly reminder that we're here for you all year. A celebration of fellowship, a time to lift up our citizens and to give back to the community that spans our verse. Need a step-by-step in dogfighting takedowns, an intro to salvaging pirate-wrecked ships, ship carcasses, referral rewards for building your pyro strike team. We got you. Council and community, new player resources. When you're entering a universal scale MMO for the first time, it can be hard to know where to start. Play through our in-game tutorials, delve into beginner-friendly knowledge on the Welcome Hub, explore the new player essentials post for an overview of key tips and tools, and find a veteran of the verse to guide you through tricky gameplay in our guide system. So I've just clicked on the guide system. We'll go through that next. Referral and rewards, guys, we're going to go through this here in a second, but they've updated a new ladder, a new rewards schedule. And there's some feedback. I'll happily go through the feedback from the community. Stand by for that. There is a community contest, which we do get to. Yes, we do get to here in like 4 tabs. So for a chance to win another ship. And then orgs got featured. So congratulations to those orgs who did get featured. They submitted. We also submitted from Soul Provision. Weren't selected. That's fine. But there were other orgs that did. Congratulations to them. And then it brings up some war bonded discounted starter packs. So actually, I'm going to go through my opinions on each one of these. So what's special about these is they have that Foundation Festival paint. Right. And they're a little bit discounted. So like, for instance, this starter pack, the Generalist Foundation starter pack, it looks like a cutter. It is a cutter for $51, originally $60. So it's 15% off. And the cutter is not a bad starter ship. You can't really do much in it beyond like, I don't know, delivery missions, which don't exist anymore. But it'll get you from point A to point B. Right. Here's the Hauler Foundation Festival starter pack for $68. And I don't know. I'm thinking that's an Intrepid. Yeah, it is. I don't know why it looked different in the photo, but the Intrepid's pretty cool. It's got 8 SCU. So 8 SCU, again, great for maybe delivery missions. It can hold a little bit more than the cutter. This thing is fast. This thing is super, super fast. I think that is why I like this, probably among the 2 that we just talked about. But for me, I still think the best starter pack, not the Cutlass Black. Like, that's, if you have $100 to spend, get yourself the Cutlass Black. But if you have $80.75 to spend, get the Nomad. I love the Nomad. This is your pickup truck. It's very much a pickup truck. But this holds, what does it hold? It holds 24. It holds a significant, no, I think it's more. It holds a significant amount of cargo. So if you're going to introduce or get introduced into cargo, it's not a bad ship. The back drops down. So like, it's like an elevator will like drop down. You can load it up and it pulls it into, the back of, or the bed of the truck. It's exposed. So it's a little unique. It's kind of like the whole A where your cargo is exposed, but it's just for me, it's just a great overall ship. I absolutely love the Nomad. But again, if you have $100 to spend, just get the Cutlass Black. Cutlass Black is hands down still probably one of the best ships. All right, and then free fly ships. The 8 vehicles you're going to get to fly for free. And these are very high dollar value items, right? The Cutlass Red, the Fury LX, the Gladius, the Golem, so if you want to get into mining, the Intrepid, the MTC, the Sulin, and the Vulture, if you want to get into salvaging. So a great lineup. Get involved in that way. I think that's all I want to say about the Foundation Festival as a whole. Guide system. Okay, for all you noobs out there. So the guide hub, I showed you how to get to it. So if you're on the Foundation Festival page, scroll down a little bit in the council and community section. This last link called the guide system, just click on that. Or it's robertspaceindustries.com/spectrum/guide. So if you are somebody who is tenured, experienced, you can choose your proficiencies. So from beginner basics all the way to miscellaneous, there's training, medical, refueling, mining, racing. I have everything checked, right, if I wanted to. And then once you're ready to teach, or you're going to instruct for the next hour or two or whatever it is, you're going to click on this like available button. And that's going to make you as a guide available for a new player to participate in, right? Yes. If you are new, then you would still come here and you would say like, this is what I'm interested in. And you sign up to be taught. And so the two individuals would like connect and you play. And then at the end of the session, there's like a FAQ, or there's like I don't know, there's like a poll on like, how did it go for both sides? You know, did you have fun? How good was the teaching? And then once you like sign off as, yep, we're good to go, good training, we're done. That counts as a session, right? And so the session rewards, we'll get into that here in a couple of seconds, but both individuals will get a different item, one for being the trainee and one for being the trainer. I think it's a very interesting way to teach the community. This is beyond the obvious, the tutorial, right? So there is an in-game tutorial that'll walk you through kind of the basics of StarCitizen, but there's nothing like getting, you know, hand in hand or one-on-one instruction. So I think it's a very ingenious like approach to training. I did this once a couple of Foundation festivals ago. I didn't do it last year. I might do it this year. I don't know. I have a couple of days and it's right over the holiday weekend. And like I said, I'm not going to really be here this weekend, but if I find time, I'll try to do this. But I already have all the paints for the ships and most of the items. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do it this year or not. Still debating. So there is the guide hub, and real quick, boom, I just want to show you all the infographic. Here you go. And here is the infographic for the new player rewards. So for one session, you're going to get the Gemini LH86 or 86. In 2 sessions, you're going to get the P4 automatic rifle or AR rifle. And then after 3 sessions, you're going to be getting the multi-tool set, right? So this is like obviously permanently in your inventory, in your hangar. So that stays with you beyond patch recycles and whatnot. And then for veterans, so if you're the trainer, you're going to get the Foundation Festival grade cap after 1 session. After 2 sessions, you're going to be getting the 100i Foundation Festival paint. And then after 3 sessions, you'll be getting the RRS Arden SL Red Alert armor and submachine gun kit. It's the red and black. It's the red and black Red Alert paint or livery. It's not even livery. It's the gear paint. What are we calling that? Let's just leave it as gear. Good Lord. So yeah, let me know. Let me know if you participate, if you take part in the Foundation Festival. And if so, some fun stories, experiences that you had. I think this is a good time. I think next week will be 421. It would make sense to have a resource gathering come out in the middle of Foundation Festival, right? So all the things that you're learning about salvaging and mining and cargo hauling, it would make sense that you can put it to application or to apply it before this event is over. So I predict we will see 421 before the end of the Foundation Festival. Makes total sense. And it's already through the PTU. So the timing of it also makes sense. So, okay. So there is the guide system. There's more rewards. So sorry. In addition to the above rewards, those who lend a hand or reach out for one will also be rewarded with the exclusive Foundation Festival themed liveries honoring each tutorial path. So here you see on my screen. So beyond those 3 sessions, you've got, I'm not going to go through every single, I guess, yeah, I'll do it. Why not? For beginner basics, you'll get the Anvil Arrow Foundation Festival paint. For vehicle combats, the Aegis Gladius paint. FPS combat, the Anvil Valkyrie. The mining is Misk Prospector. The salvaging is Drake Vulture. The mission reputation is Drake Cutlass Black. Trading is a Drake Caterpillar. Medical is a Drake Cutlass Red. Racing is the Mirai Razor. The refueling is the Misk Starfarer. Touring is that's going to be an interesting, like, how do you train somebody on touring? It's weird. Touring, the Origin 600i Touring. And then miscellaneous is the Crusader Mercury Star Runner. And those are, of course, the paints, not the actual ships. So you also get paints for your ships. It's fine. Some of that stuff, like what is miscellaneous? And then what is touring? Like, touring is not a game loop in the game. Theoretically, medical is also not a game loop. I mean, I guess you could train a new player on how to look for like markers, how to find like the medical flares that people send up. So I guess there's sort of a game loop, but I don't know. Some of it's a little I'm curious like how you would train and how you would say that you were officially trained or adequately trained. Anyways, let's move on. This is a great time for new players. So there's new player essentials. This page right here is a phenomenal landing page for somebody who's new. I would take this link, right? It's the Foundation Festival 2025 New Player Essentials. I would take this link and give it to any new player. This is everything. From how to download, how to watch tutorials, how to, if you wanted to read more about master modes, right? Learn from our veterans. There's YouTube links. There's much must-watch beginner guides from content creators, right? Just a bunch of craziness. Something in here for everybody, quite honestly. So very cool. Let's get into like the last thing for the Foundation Festival. This is the community screenshot contest. So I know Disowned and Groza from Soul Provision, they're already on this. But yeah, it's a kindness and camaraderie screenshot. So take a shot of helping other people. There you go. I just simplified this entire post. But what can you win? So in first place, you can win the Crusader Mercury Star Runner. That is the actual ship with LTI. In second place, the Drake Cutlass Red. And in third place, the Aegis Gladius. Right? These are all with LTI, all with their Foundation Festival paints. So get your screenshots in. Show that teamwork. Last night's Orgonite, when we were taking out the Apex Valakir, there were a few opportunities where we saw individuals rezzing their buddy and helping others like load the teeth, right? We couldn't get the teeth to work on the damn freight elevators, so we had to put them on the trams to get the trams to another location, right? Those are all moments that we could have taken several screenshots to put in for this. So if any of those ships mean something to you, or if you want one of those ships, you have until Monday, July 14th. So get on it. You have 10 more days. And that's it for the Foundation Festival. It is a very community-driven event, 100%. You're not going to really find anything in-game like you would for like IAE or ILW. But this is more, I'm going to call it like more external to the game. Like even the guide system is kind of handled outside of the game. But I think it's good. I think it's good for the community. It's good for new players for sure. Absolutely. Simultaneously, or maybe similarly to the Foundation Festival, like we also have the rewards, right? The referral rewards. And so there's like, you can't really have one without the other. Like this is a new player event. So this is a great time for CIAG to have announced their new referral rewards. So let's get into that real quick. And I don't know why I'm freaking out. Okay. If you've ever done a podcast before, have you ever like in the middle of your podcast thought, I don't remember hitting record? Luckily I did. That thought went into my mind. I'm like, oh crap, this would suck. All right. The referral rewards. This has changed. And so if you've had a referral in the old system, you actually have access to both ladders. And I know that's like super confusing, but you have one ladder, I guess the legacy ladder. So if you were on your way to get one of those items, don't worry, you're still on your way to get that. It's fine. We're not really here to talk about the legacy ladder. We're here to talk about the new stuff. And so here we go. And again, this came out July 2nd, so 2 days ago, and we already have people with 42 recruits. I'm going to go out there and say it. I doubt in 2 days these are legitimate 42 recruits. Like, I'm pretty sure there's an opportunity where somebody bought their own accounts. It's fine. I need to be careful with that too, because I'm not accusing. I just, in 2 days, 42. It's insane. I have 0. That's fine. I have 0. So if you're interested, use my referral code. But here's your new ladder. So this is how you would read this. So after 1 recruit, you're going to get the CDS GCD Army Medium Armor Set. After 2 recruits, you're going to get the Volt SMG gun. 3 recruits is the Gladius Dunleavy model, right, for your hanger. I'm not going to go through every single one of these per se, but you can see how this goes all the way to 1,042 recruits is the Idris M, right? The Idris M after 1,042 recruits. Goodness, that is a crazy amount of recruits, but you get a free Idris M. Right. Let's go through some of the highlights, though, real quick. OK, so we want to call out in 4 recruits. No, that's just the paint. That's the Mariah Pulse paint. So it's not even the ship. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. A couple of hanger items. All right. 42 recruits is your Aegis Gladius. Right. Your Aegis Gladius Dunleavy, or with the Dunleavy paint. That's at 42. All right. The Misk Raptor, we talked about this already, but the Misk Raptor, you have to get 8 more recruits. So more than the Gladius to get the Zamboni Cleaner. Here's your Misk Raptor for 50. You get the Storm at 75. You get the Freelancer Max at 100. There's a redacted ship at 200. So we don't know what that 200 is. At 500 recruits, you're going to get the Van Duel Scythe. And then again, at that 1,042 recruits, you're getting the Idris M. Also on this page is that breakout per like time. So if you want to look at your monthly leaderboard, if you want to look at the all-time leaderboard, and again, this is just using the new information, right? So congratulations to those already populating, which is crazy. But that's okay. So that's it for the news. The community is not happy. I believe the old ladder, people were on their way to get the Javelin. And the highest ship that you can get here in this is the Idris M at the 1,042 recruits. This is another emotional response, is like, this is for content creators. There's no way that a normal person would be able to get over 1,000 recruits. So we're talking about the morphologists. We're talking about Burks. We're talking about those individuals. So either, what's the reality? What's in it for, everybody else, which I guess at that point you're kind of done after 15, maybe 25 recruits will get you like all the hanger items. And then anything above 25 recruits are the actual ships. So, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I mean, clearly I don't care. Clearly I don't care. I've had this podcast we're on our 3rd season now, and I've never really pushed the referral code, so I don't know why I would necessarily change and really start caring now. Referral links and all my stuff, I clearly preach about the game. I'm supportive of the game and whether or not people use my information. Usually people are already players of the game before they get to the podcast. So I think that's the difference. If you're a streamer on Twitch or on YouTube, you do have that more, you have more exposure to those that maybe are interested in StarCitizen or maybe playing it for the first time. So I think all that makes sense. But I think the initial reaction is for the other 99% of StarCitizen gamers. I don't know. Is this really that big of a deal? It probably is more for the content creators or the streamers. So how do you feel? How do you feel about the referral program? Does it impact you at all? Is it something that you're going to be going after? Is it, is there one item that we went through that you're targeting? Like I'm going to try my best to get, 15 recruits so I can get a statue, the Spirit of the Starman statue. Let me know. All right. We have the July subscriber promo, roadmap update, and then the StarCitizen monthly report. Oh, and Star Citizen Live. We have a lot more to go through, guys. Let's go. So July subscriber promotion. I'm not as happy with this month's items as I have been for the last 2 months. So this one's a little bit more kind of in line with what we've seen in the last few years. But given the resource gathering in the next couple of, well, actually the next patch, but in the next couple of days, this makes sense that they're highlighting the corporations that, are into hauling, but they're plushies. I'm kind of tired of plushies being, the choice for subscriber promotions. But here you are, right? The in-game flair, the cuddly cargo collection, right? So a bunch of plushy cargo boxes of your favorite corporations. The decorative cargo collection for the Imperadors. So I guess these are like actual like boxes you can put in your hangar. Obviously the small boxes. So if you're not on video, it's the like extremely small, like tack boxes, right? And then the cargo collection pack is everything that you can buy in store. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. A less attractive month, but the last 2 months were really good. This one, I'm like, I really just don't care. Don't care at all about this one. The price point is also pretty low as well. So if you want the cuddly cargo collection, it's $5. The decorative cargo collection, $5. And then the cargo collection pack, if you want both, $8.50. Vehicles of the month. Now here is, I think, the true value. I just heard something. That was weird. I think the true value is here in the vehicles of the month. So we have the Caterpillar, which is obviously a phenomenal cargo hauler. And then we also have the Starlancer Max, another phenomenal cargo hauler, right? That is worth, I think, the subscription, especially the Caterpillar. I love the Caterpillar. All right, let's move on. How do you feel about this subscriber promotions? Let us know in the comment section. Roadmap update. All right, we actually have some things to go through. We have some 4.3 information. So let's get into this real quick. 4.2.1 is going to introduce new hairstyles, a global event tracking service, missions, our collection missions, then medium utility armor strata. So we're getting some new armor as well. Some of that might be new, but if you've been listening to the podcast, you've heard that before. Let's get into some of the new stuff. So in 4.3, we're going to have cooperative zones. It's not an event. It's not a sandbox like contested zones, but the opposite, where investigation, puzzle solving, and cooperation with players around you will make completing objectives easier. That's interesting. That's super interesting. Abandoned underground facilities located on every moon of the Stanton system. These enormous multi-level structures are used for the new cooperative zones coming in Alpha 4.3. We got some more Volt weapons. We have the Volt Laser Sniper Zenith, the Sniper Light Armor Geist, the Medium Utility Armor Ambrose, Ambrose, I don't know. New hairstyles, again, more hairstyles. Ladder improvements, improving the reliability and use of ladders in the game. So for the Asgard owners trying to get up and down in the Asgard, that's good news. AI FPS turrets, adding anti-personnel turrets for players to avoid or destroy, providing additional PvE challenges. Mission pickup on location, enabling new missions to be discovered and added to journals when you approach or enter a designated area. That's interesting. And then Wicklow special ships, adding the following special ships to Wicklow's Emporium: the Misk Starlancer TAC, the Drake Golem, and Volterrapin Medic, and with upgraded components. These ships can be unlocked by bringing the NPC Wicklow a number of favors in exchange of rewards. So 4.3 looks to be pretty interesting. It has cooperative gameplay, so it's PvP, so human versus human, I guess, but it's not against each other. It's cooperative. Very interesting. Let's just keep going. Here is the monthly report. I'm not going to read you the entire monthly report, but what I do want to show you is the information about ships. So art ships. Here we go. This is what everybody wants to hear. So we have a lot of a lot of buzzwords. You're going to hear it here in a couple seconds. In the UK, the Anvil Paladin continued through Greybox, with additional artists being moved onto it as their other tasks were completed to help prepare for its July gate review. So Paladin is having a July gate review. That's huge. That's huge. We could easily see the Paladin at IAE, maybe even sooner. But if it gets a gate review in July, pending everything going well, that's great news for those looking forward to the Paladin. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Paladin is the same frame as the Valkyrie and the. I could be wrong. I think I'm right though. It's like the Valkyrie, the Asgard, and the Paladin are part of the same family, if I'm not mistaken. Pre-production began on the Gaddock Raylan. Awesome. Which will continue between other tasks ahead of the ship officially entering production later this year. So we will not see the Raylan until 2026 at least. Some of the team moved on to the Drake Ironclad, with some areas receiving layout alterations to improve traversal alongside refinement to the modular Drake kit. Work progressed on 5 unannounced vehicles. It's crazy. It's a lot. Raptor probably being one of them. 2 completed their white box phase and are now well into gray box with focus on details around the hull. Another is the final stages of production and is receiving the finishing touches and bug fixes ahead of its release. Another vehicle from a prominent manufacturer entered production and is currently approaching its white box review. A new variant also entered pre-production, which the team states may have the record for the fastest vehicle through the production pipeline. That's cool. In North America, the RSI Apollo Medevac and Triage reached the LOD0 phase. That's level of detail 0 phase, with the devs ensuring the modular medical base swap out and behave as expected. We will probably see the Apollo Medevac and Triage in IAE. So that's the Anvil Paladin and the Apollo Medevac and Triage by Q4, in my opinion, or in Q4. Following the release of the Asperia Prowler utility, the team tackled some bugs, with fixes due to land in Alpha 421. The RSI Perseus approached its gray box gate review, so we might also see the Perseus in Q4. As such, a lot of work was done to prepare anything that animates, such as the torpedo launchers for the downstream teams. Lastly, this one's huge. Lastly, for ships, the Drake Kraken entered pre-production, with the team identifying areas from the original concept that need further attention to bring to modern standards. Full production will begin later this year. The Drake Kraken is finally going into full production. And that's awesome. That was like a fan voted on ship. Like they voted on the design and they committed to what the fans, committed to or voted on. So this is finally coming to production. I cannot wait. That's going to be an amazing ship. So much so that I have both. Don't judge me. No judgment on this podcast. And last, inventory updates on the StarCitizen Live. Let me actually pull this up. Excuse the background noise. Let's do.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, what's up, Jared? All right, let me scroll through real quick. And all right, here we go. I found it. I'm going to go ahead and play this for everybody and pause it, but I just want to show you the new inventory proposals. So here we go.
Some concept UI of what being worked on, and we can talk through it. Hang on. I don't use Zoom much, so here we go. So we're looking at some concept UI here. Obviously, you can see there's a visual facelift, but kind of the most interesting.
I'm going to pause it real quick. So this is the new interface. And just, again, I don't really want to play the video. It's an hour-long interview with Jared Huckabee and those developers for inventory and economy. So, it's, again, great episode. Listen to it. There's a lot of information there. But I think the biggest nugget was the proposed inventory overhaul. So this is proposed. But you'll see here just... It's just a lot. It's a lot more user friendly. You can see the different. What are we calling these? Windows. You can go into your inventory today, and turn on like the helper. It's called helper, or like the slot helper. And it'll show you like where on your outfit you have available slots. That's great. But this has it like built in. This is built in, and it looks like a lot more 2025. This looks like an updated game. So here's your inventory. What I found interesting is it also pulls the inventories of the things around you. So if you had a container at your feet or a dead body around your feet, that would also be in in this screen, and it would be in this top like header. So in this top header that I'm circling with my mouse, you see your personal button. But if there were other sources of storage, they'd be in these other windows, right? So like the dead body would be here, the container would be here, and it's just and they'd be on both. Looks like here on the left side of the screen and over here on the right side of the screen. And so it'd be easy to, flip inventory from one location to another, especially here on your equipment. I love this. Instead of clicking through several different layers to get to the right view, it's all here in front of you. Again, this to me looks like a 2025 game. Let me just let this play for a little bit, and then we'll call this a podcast.
Interesting aspect to me isn't super obvious straight away, and that is that you'll be able to access other inventories that are nearby to you within proximity. So if we start drawing, we imagine we've got our storage box over here, and then we kill the guy. Yeah, thank you. We kill the guy. Here he is. He's on the floor. So he would be accessible as one of the tabs up here. And then the inventory box would be over here, same on the other side. And so when you press I to access the inventory, you can then access the dead bodies inventory, access your storage box. You can start moving stuff around without having to directly go up to the body, go up to the box, and press F. So it's much, much quicker to kind of get in there and start looting. We'll just get rid of all this. If we focus in on one of the panels, you can see it's called Personal All. That's just kind of the default personal.
What I'll just say to kind of wrap this up, like this, if you go to your freight elevator and you go to the kiosk in your freight elevator, that's what this UI basically comes from. Here's your select all. It has searchability, so that's really awesome if you're in your hangar, or if you're in your if you have a lot of items in your backpack. Like this would be really nice to sort through and find out where the items are. It's great. Instead of going from page to page trying to figure it out. But this looks very familiar if you can recall the freight elevator. So I don't know when this is coming. A future patch, quote unquote, could be 4.2.1, could be 4.3. We'll probably see this come out in waves. In my opinion, it's probably going to be a little bit at a time. Usually that's how these things work. But it's very much needed. Like I was saying last night for the org night, my inventory issues, I don't know. I was having a lot of issues with getting gear removed and trying to get, a weapon system, equipped. And I think it might have had to do with just the nature of the undersuit, the hazmat suit that I was wearing. I'm sure that has to do with everything. It's very frustrating. Inventory needs an overhaul. Thank you, CIG. We're going to call this an episode. So a very, very busy one, a lot of content. Thanks for sticking with me through it all. About an hour and 10 minutes worth of a podcast worth of content. So as always, I hope this finds you well. If you want to become part of the conversation, you can do so at beyondtheversehq.com or soulprovision.com. All the information you'll ever want to know about us is there. One way, shape, or form is there. If you want to email us, you can email us at contact@beyondtheversehq.com and then respond to the comment section in Spotify. And both will be read at the top of each podcast. So thank you for those who are engaging, and I welcome more. I think it's a great conversation, right? Happy 4th of July. Have a great weekend. And until next time, safe travels as you traverse beyond the verse. Take care, everybody.